silence. Now, as you moved through your career, you did a movie called Silence at the Heart.
Yes.
And it's a very important film for you.
Well, it changed my life. Completely and totally changed my life. Nobody knew that I was a suicide survivor. Nobody knew that. My mother had sworn me to secrecy. And so I didn't talk about it. And, you know, obviously you can't heal that way, you know, even if you come from Connecticut and don't talk about family secrets. So I didn't believe that I had enough experience to actually do this woman who was the mother of a child who had taken his own life, played wonderfully by Chad Lowe. His best friend was Charlie Sheen, and it was a terrific cast. So I asked if I could meet a family whose son had taken his life. It was the most extraordinary experience, which I describe in the book, hopefully in the kind of detail I wanted to. We were in my rose garden, and we were all shaking, because I'd never told my experience to anybody. And they were such extraordinary people, and our experiences were exactly the same. From the same sound, the same smells, the same everything. And that was when I could, you know, because to me it is biblical. I mean, the scales fell from my eyes. They had already been in a group, so they knew what it was like. And from that point on, I would kind of put my feet in the kind of the water of, I guess you'd call it suicidology, that group of people who finally admit it in front of people. And it led me to, gradually, it led me to doing groups. I facilitate groups, co-facilitate groups now. About 4 times a year. They're 8-week groups, and then every month we do a group of all of the people who've already been in the groups. And if there is someone that I know of who has had the experience, I have to reach out. I have to, because when I was 23 and it happened to me, there were no groups. Nobody talked about it. We were blamed. The police blamed me for. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, what we get in our cells through the experience is this is a very different kind of grieving. You know, it's kind of like, and of course in those days I knew nothing about post-traumatic stress disorder. I didn't know about that until the Vietnam War, until the vets came back from that. And survivors it's very similar, because we come out into, you know, society hoping that we'll get help. This is when I was a new survivor, and people look at you askance, blame the family, don't want to hear about it, don't want to talk about it.
Well, it's the evil eye. It's
awful. Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Puts a sort of a hex on your home almost.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Well, that's how people used to think.
Right.
Now, the organization you work for, you did speak for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
I co-created it, yeah, in 1987. A bunch of us, suicidologists, a pediatric psychiatrist, very, very well-known people in New York City, and they came to my apartment. I don't know how they found out about me, and they started the fundraising arm for the American Foundation. And I was the first speaker, the first person in the first fundraiser who spoke as a survivor. And since that time, we've probably raised millions of dollars for research. And I wasn't that interested in research. I am now. But I wasn't. I was much more interested in activism. I was much more interested in talking to fellow survivors, because we know the journey. We're, you know, like veterans, and we know the journey through the minefields of this journey.
Yeah. Now, the title of your book is Breaking the Silence. Mm-hmm. And obviously what you just told us, there's a reason why it's called that. But when you came up with the name, it was sort of like a first person, you know, action on breaking the silence, or are you hoping to get people to say, my life journey is almost the same as Mariette's? There's a lot of laughter.
No, there's a lot of that. That's it. I mean, my life is very, I'm very much an open book and speak a lot. And basically it's to say, come on, if I can get through this, or more importantly, if I can laugh through this, but this is my life. And I bet you that you have a very similar one on some level. And it's like storytelling, how key it is, how important it is for all of us to talk about our lives, because we help other people, you know, and save lives. And that, to me, is the real key.
I hear from others that the work that you do is also down to a very personal level, that there are people that can just reach out to you and you
oh my gosh,
find the time to help.
Oh, it's essential. You know, it's like being in a 12-step program. It's the 12th step, which is, you know, reaching out to others is our healing. It's, we both heal, you know, at the same time.
Right.
So it's essential, yeah.